Welcome back, our dear viewers. As we have mentioned at the beginning of the show that yesterday we were celebrating the Labor Day worldwide, and Egypt did celebrate this very special occasion. During the celebration marking Labor Day on Monday, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi issued a package of decrees aimed at improving the situation of the Egyptian workers. To shed light on that, we are very much delighted to be joined here in the studio by Dr. Maha Mahgoub. She is a human resources expert. Good morning, Doctor.
Good morning.
Doctor, yesterday we were celebrating Labor Day. What is the significance of this day?
Good morning. The whole world were celebrating yesterday. Not the whole world. Some countries, they were celebrating the Labor Day. In that occasion, that we appreciate the efforts of laborers and workers. The occasion or the reason behind this celebration day or this holiday, in 1856, it has been arised first in Australia. Just to regulate the working hours, and then in 1886 USA had a huge strike and demonstration in Chicago between some workers and police, and accordingly some people have been died, the police and the demonstrators. So they have at that date they are celebrating the 1st of May as Labor Day. And it has been affirmed or confirmed to be a Labor Day in 1890. And most of our countries, they are celebrating with the worker days or labor days in the 1st of May, just to give honor and appreciation to workers. And other countries or some people, they took this opportunity just to demonstrate, to ask about their rights, even its political work rights or some, just to raise their voice and to ask for the rights.
Yes. Doctor, actually yesterday during the celebrations marking the Labor Day here in Egypt, the President issued the decrees, including the issuing of a new document of a man certificate that was first issued in 2017, and an emergency aid fund will also be established for the non-regular worker. How do you see these decrees and these decisions?
Yes, of course. Just the President Sisi wanted to provide decent life for all Egyptians, especially for workers. In 2017, we had a certificate called Aman, just to secure laborers and just to protect them. It's a life insurance and injury security certificate in case of injuries. And yesterday he declared that, President Sisi declared that just to reissue another Aman certificate for irregular employment, just to be more secured. On the other hand, for irregular employment, he announced that they are going to provide 1,000 Egyptian pounds for irregular employment. Those people who cannot get benefit from social protection or social insurance, just how to protect the irregular workers and the irregular employment.
Also, the head of state announced the launch of the national platform for the labor market info. How do you see the significance of this, Dr. Mahgoub?
Yes, it's very important. Long time ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, the Ministry of Manpower just established is establishing a platform for labor market, just to link between the supply and demand of the labor market, just to exhibit the job opportunities from other countries, those countries who are interested to hire Egyptian people, and how to link or match between laborers and employers through this platform. And the most important thing, that just to secure the labor rights, because if some workers or laborers who are interested to travel or maybe to get a job opportunity, maybe they can find risk to get the rights. So it's a type of generating more job opportunities, and just to match between the employee and employers. And of course, it will be very easy for unemployed people to just to get more job opportunities, but by just monitoring and just searching via this platform how to get a good job opportunity.
Yes, indeed. Doctor, what is your opinion regarding the role role of the Egyptian workers and laborers in supporting the development efforts. And yesterday we have heard the President also talking about the hardships that the developing nations are witnessing due to all the repercussions of the economic crisis worldwide after the Ukrainian war and the COVID-19 pandemics.
Yes, of course. Yeah, yesterday, President Sisi just mentioned the important roles of Egyptian workers and the loyalty of those workers towards the development of the nations. Therefore, he emphasized, or maybe he supported some recommendations just to improve those workers. For example, just to make sure about gender equality, generating more job opportunities for workers, establishing new 5 industrial zones, just of course to generate more job opportunities, just to enhance and support the mega projects here in Egypt for supporting workers. They are playing an important role, and how to engage the irregular employment into the labor market, how to save them, how to protect them, and so on.
Indeed. Can you give us, Doctor, how we can compensate for the gap between the labor market needs and the labor shortage and the production requirements?
Of course. Here in Egypt, maybe some sectors, they are facing a huge problem because they don't find a qualified laborers to qualify or to join their industry. So since 2018, the Egypt Ministry of Vocational Education just to restructure and reform about 40 new professionals and develop these professions to be matching with the labor market. And of course, applied technologies schools, and these schools are matching with the current change in the labor market needs. So most of experts and state experts just studying the labor market needs. Accordingly, they adapted the educational syllabus and materials to be matching with the labor needs. And it's worth to mention that yesterday President Sisi just emphasized or mentioned that we have to have a campaign just to raise the mental image about the work and the importance of work. It's not a shame just to work, because especially for vocational worker peoples, maybe they have bad image about workers as okay, so cannot work as workers, but it's a very respected position. Yes, of course, and it's one main pillar of the development of any country.
Back to also the decisions taken regarding the non-regular workers, and the President also directed to the establishment of the emergency relief fund for the irregular employees and the transfer of the social and health account dues to it, and maximizing the social and development return from it as well. How do you see this, and what more should be done to secure the conditions, the living conditions for the non-regular employees as well?
Yes. Non-regular employees, they are not secure. Maybe they can work, but they are not insured. They don't have social insurance, medical insurance. Therefore, they don't get the rights. Therefore, President Sisi just announced that to secure and protect irregular employment by issuing a subsidized fund for them and giving them 1,000 Egyptian pound, because those people, they can maybe they cannot get the rights, they don't get secured income or something like that. So in emergency, so they can get benefit. And it's worth to mention, during the coronavirus subsidy fund just helped about 2.5 million Egyptian employees, just provided them with compensation with some certain amount of money, because the main purpose of this fund just to protect laborers in case of layoff, if the employer laid off the employees, so they can have a good means for living to secure them till finding a new job for 6 months.
Doctor, also President Sisi, during his speech at the Labor Day celebration, stressed the state's readiness to support companies in increasing the local product in the Egyptian products. How do you see that?
It's very important. It's very important to promote and increase productivity of Egyptian products. So that comes by increasing and supporting industrial issues, by increasing the Egyptian products with maybe any project. So in manufacturing and so on. So I think the current economic crisis here in Egypt, all over the world, depends on how to increase the productivity, how to increase the production, how to increase the export to other countries in order to overcome the current crisis. So just participating in production with major Egyptian components and components, just to be an initial part of the main components, is very important for the development of the country.
Indeed. Also, the President directed the Supreme Council for Social Dialogue in the field of work to study the draft labor law presented to the House of Representatives in the presence of workers and employers representatives to agree on its final version. How do you see that, and what's the importance of this move?
Yes, the current applied law is Labor Law number 12, 2003, and since the 2003 we don't have a new labor law. A few years ago, till this moment, a good dialogue between Parliament, public sectors, workers' representatives are negotiating the new terms and conditions of the new labor law, just to regulate the relationship between the employer and the employees. And I think a lot of articles have been changed, such as maternity leaves, working hours, vacations, and a lot of benefits for workers. So I think in the next few months, the new labor law will be arised for better life for employee, and of course to secure the relationship between employee and employers.
Yes, indeed. Also, the President tackled a very important point in his speech on the Labor Day celebration, that the private sector establishment, the public sector and the public business sector should abide by the legally established rate of 5% for the employment of the person with disabilities, and continue to work on developing their skills and integrating them into the labor market. What's your take on that, and to what extent this is actually applied on the ground?
Actually, just devoting or setting 5% of people with special needs to integrate them in the labor markets is already exists in the labor law here in Egypt. Some companies, they are applying this law, others they don't. But yesterday, the President Sisi just mentioned and stressed that all companies should apply giving or integrating the people with special needs into the labor market by applying the law and developing their skills. If they need certain skills just to perform a certain job, so it's good. And I would like to mention something important. When I was a formal employee, we had some disabled people or people with special needs. They were very professional. They were performing a good job. So it's some companies and factories, so they can give maybe salaries for those people without work. But if they can use these labors to produce and just
it's important for the people with special needs as well to prove themselves as normal citizens in society, which is the case.
Yes, yes.
Doctor, as well, the President stressed the need for the ministries and the concerned authorities to coordinate with the private sector to quickly complete the procedures aimed at achieving gender equality in the field of work, achieving a safe work environment, increasing women employment rate and integrating them into the labor market, and developing their skills and protecting them as well. How do you see this very important point, and to what extent we did achieve this point in the labor market, and what more do we expect to see?
Yeah. Gender equality is one of the main sustainable goals of development goals, and one of Egypt Vision 2030. And of course, presidency since 2017, since the Women Year and so on. So just he wanted to engage women into the labor market, how to assure equality between men and women, how to have a safe work environment. So maybe by new regulations, such as for shareholding companies, just allocate 30% of the board seats for women, just to have a certain quota for gender equality. Maybe in politics, 20, and in the constitution, 25% of women and youth are presented for women, and just to present to have more seats, and just to make sure that we have equity between men and women, and just to prove and just to apply the goals of sustainable development goals.
Yeah. Also, Doctor, the President directed that the ministries and the concerned authorities should prepare for the future jobs, identify the professions required in the future labor market and the necessary skills for them, and work to develop the human resources skills in a manner common with the future of the jobs and the needs for the labor market. Are we going to witness here some changes in the labor market and the need for new skills for the labor market in the near future?
Yes, of course. We can monitor, or we can witness this change since coronavirus, when the whole world forced to use technology, computer working from home and so on. And by maybe in the next years, maybe 14% of current jobs will be disappeared, and around 34% of jobs maybe will be at risk. So we have to monitor what about the labor market needs, what about the new technology, how to use the artificial intelligence.
Yes.
For example, now we can find the new ChatGPT. It's very easy to use it. It will be competing Google, and it's very easy for anyone just to do business, maybe online business and so on. So people should be aware about what about the most updated artificial intelligence, what about the new job opportunities, and of course the state just establish new universities just to generate more job opportunities to be matching with the labor market needs.
Yes. Finally, Doctor, also the President announced during the Labor Day celebration the launch of a national campaign to improve the mental image in the society of the value of work and its importance to the individual and to the society, and to encourage the young people to integrate into self-employment and entrepreneurship, and to establish the small, medium and micro projects. What's your take on that?
I would like to highlight something very important about the mental image about the work. It's very important to raise the a good mental image for workers, not for university graduates.
Yes.
Because workers, maybe they feel ashamed that to work as a worker.
Which is, allow me to interrupt here, Dr. Mahgoub, but it's not the case at all. Worldwide. Sometimes we have this wrong mindset here, but it's not the situation worldwide. On the contrary, yes.
Yeah, and for example, in Germany, maybe the labor or worker can gain more money more than the engineer, or maybe the nurse can gain money more doctor.
Indeed.
So here in Egypt, developing the stereotypes and the good image of the importance of work, how to engage the labor markets, and of course, international organizations nowadays, they are supporting and funding the new training methodology education, such as David Wise project, Workforce Egypt project. They are providing a lot of support in education and providing more job opportunities, and how to enhance and improve the image of work itself. Moreover, the entrepreneurship and the importance of entrepreneurship, because it's the only solution for generating job opportunities by self-employed. Just waiting for a good job opportunity by the state or by searching for a new job. But don't just to send a good message for anyone who are employed, that if you want to work, okay, you can start your small or maybe micro project, then you can have a good job opportunity.
Indeed, Dr. Maha Mahgoub, our human resources expert, thank you so much for being with us today and for your very precious input. Always a pleasure. Our dear viewers, now we go to a short break, and after that we'll be back to continue our segments in the breakfast show, so stay tuned.
a block of stone was found with a sunk relief of Zeus Ammon in the